Recording, and just to make sure it is okay if we record this and put it on YouTube and like our website.
Yep, no problem.
Sweet, man. Yeah. Um, yeah, let's hop right in. Let's just do your name and how you got into skiing, how you got started with it.
My name is Brian Eckstein, and when I was very young, I don't know what age, maybe 10 or 11, my dad went skiing at snow trails, and I saw it and, was like, hey, I want to do this. I want to try this. He didn't let me at that point. But a couple years later, kind of like sixth grade or something, we had a school ski club that I joined and went the first time, took the first lesson, and just was hooked right away and never stopped since.
Awesome, man. Yeah, so you started at Snow Trails, you said?
So actually, he was skiing at snow trails. My school ski club went to Clear Fork Ski Resort, which is just used to, not in existence anymore, but used to be just a few miles down the road from snow trails in Butler. So I grew up skiing there. And then when I got to college, I actually started a ski club at my college, and we went to snow trails for college ski club.
Oh, that's awesome. Where did you go to college at?
Ohio Wesleyan, Delaware.
Okay, cool. That's sweet, man. So when you were in sixth grade, was it like, did all your friends do ski club with you? Was that part of what drew you to it?
Yeah, there was a group of pretty close friends, and we all joined it at the same time. We all learned at the same time. We were all first timers, and so definitely loved the sport and sensations, but big part of it was the social part as well.
Okay, gotcha. Aside from the social part, what was the part that you guys really loved about it?
I mean, you're a 12-year-old kid just like bombing down the hill. You like to go fast and wind in your face and doing stupid stuff and trying to one up each other. Yeah, just a sensation of sliding on snow, man, which I enjoy that sensation. We used to roller skate when I was a kid, so kind of sort of some of the same body stuff there, and skateboarded, and yeah, kind of
Yeah.
along those same lines, like sliding around.
Okay. Um, would you say that's still what you enjoy? I guess, is it like the adrenaline rush of just bombing the hill? Is that what you'd chalk it to?
Yeah, for sure. Just the speed, and not like bombing, like not turning, right? But just like I like speed and the way I ski now, the G forces and everything that you deal with when you're skiing, in a performance, high performance manner. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's addicting. The G forces are for sure.
for sure, yeah.
Um, I'm curious how you got into instructing, just going from like recreational and then what brought you into the teaching side of things.
It happened on a whim, kind of. It was just an idea. I was skiing every year. The family was skiing. We would buy season passes, and I was like, hey, I think I want to try teaching, and I get a free pass out of it, And so that yeah, showed up for the interviews and all that good stuff, and fell in love with the teaching part pretty quick as well.
Yeah. What uh what about the teaching do you really enjoy?
A couple things I would say. I mean, I'm my personality. I like teaching people in general. Um, whether it's like mentoring people at work or teaching a new task or sport or whatever it may be. Always been pretty good at it and have enjoyed it. And then just being able to share my passion for winter, for the ski lifestyle, for skiing, for being in the mountain environment, all those things. And uh, there's a lot of people, especially where we live in Ohio, that just don't do anything all winter. So it's a way to get out there and enjoy nature and not sit around the house all day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it that seems to be like a recurring theme with these is getting out during the winter and just getting some activity and getting to go ski. Um, do you not so much for me, but just for the video, what kind of lessons do you normally teach? Are they more first time? Or are they more advanced?
I would say probably the bulk of my lessons are beginner and intermediate. I don't do as many first time lessons as I did earlier in my career. I still enjoy doing them. I don't, seems like a lot of instructors that are more have advanced certifications kind of try to steer themselves away from doing first time lessons, but I still enjoy it. And, seeing people get it for the first time. But I just, with our current staff and always having new people, I don't end up teaching as many first time lessons as I did in the past. So, but also it's no trail if you don't get a lot of advanced skiers who are teaching or who are taking lessons. So every now and then you get one, but those are tough to come across too.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, do you miss like not teaching as many first timers, or do you really enjoy the few advanced that come through?
Yeah, I enjoy it all, and I'm willing to jump in kind of whenever, wherever I'm needed. Um, I do have a school group that I started a few years ago that I uh, for underprivileged kids. It was one of the local school districts, and I always we have new students in it every year, and I always take them kind of the whole way through. So the ones that are returning and have progressed in their abilities, and I'll give them to some other instructors, and then I always take that first time group and try to work with them the entire season and progress them along from beginner to intermediate if they get there, and so on. And
Oh,
it's really neat to be able to spend that time with the same kids every week, same group of kids, and kind of watch them progress, get to know them, build a relationship with them.
yeah, that's awesome, man. How long have you had that running?
I believe the upcoming season will be our fourth.
Okay, 4 seasons. Wow. What prompted you to start that?
Just seeing I'd say a couple things. Like on the surface, just skiing is not a cheap activity. It's not a cheap sport, uh, and that given lower income people an opportunity to get into the sport, um, and also the district that we work with has quite a high population of at-risk students, and part of what fuels that at-risk category is like idle time or not having things to do. So, I looked at it as a way to share the passion for skiing, but also like be a positive influence in some of these kids' lives that maybe don't have two parents at home, or they're struggling in school, or on fairly low fixed incomes, and giving them an opportunity to do something that they wouldn't otherwise have the chance to do.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Is it just for the school group, or is it like a nonprofit that you have?
So it's just a school group right now. My vision has kind of always been to turn it into a bigger sort of nonprofit and broaden it to other areas in our county, other schools. We just ended up with Mansfield City Schools because it is the school system with the highest population of low income and at risk students. And yeah, but that's always been my vision to make it bigger. It's just we haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, yeah. No, that's amazing. How many kids do you have, like on average? I know it changes probably most years, but
So yeah, it's grown a little bit every year. I think this past so we maxed it out at 20, just because of funding and some other reasons. I think this past year we were at 14 or 15.
wow, that's that's great, man. And
Yeah.
they come back like every week, and they're there the
Yep.
whole.
once a week, and school helps provide transportation, and there's of course a couple staff members from the school that are chaperones, and Snow Trails graciously helps us out with the ski side of things as far as rental equipment and lift passes, and then uh, we had some funding when we first started from the Ritchie County Foundation that allowed us to purchase coats and pants and gloves, goggles, socks for the kids. So the idea was they could literally get into the sport for no out of pocket cost for the season. And, that eliminates a huge barrier for their parent or, yeah, burden barrier for their parents and then the kids themselves.
Absolutely, yeah. That's that's phenomenal, man. That's wow. Huh. I never knew
And
that.
what's been neat. So the school, the people that are involved from the school side, um, one of the advisors, well, all of the advisors were already skiers, and so they're playing with the idea of growing that ski club on school, but at the school itself, and eventually becoming self-funding, where they will do their own fundraisers and um, kind of grow the club and be able to offer the same kind of deal while we're having to rely less on outside funding.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Um, wow. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. That's like that's great, man. I love that. Seriously.
Yeah, it's
Um,
been very exciting to watch and fun to see these
yeah,
kids. Advisor, like a couple kids in particular, like, yeah, we thought he was gonna end up going down a pretty bad path, and he got into skiing and like doing better in school. He's not getting in trouble. It's just really, really impactful stories like that. That just yeah, warms your heart.
gosh, that's got to be just so rewarding to hear. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
I can imagine what that's. Yeah, I can imagine how that feels. Um, yeah, that's powerful. Um, what I don't know how to put it. Well, I guess it's not that. What age ranges are they? I mean, are you taking from high school level or are they down like
Yeah,
kindergarten?
these are all high school kids. So right
Okay,
now we just work with the high school level.
all right, gotcha. And do they uh, are there ways for them to continue like once they're in college, or is that part of your like expansion plan for the future?
Yeah, we haven't really thought about that piece, but what I've noticed happen is a few of them have decided to continue. A few actually working at snow trails to help offset their cost to ski, which is another great thing. I mean, something started as fun leads into a job opportunity for them, and who knows, maybe even down the road, a couple of them end up staying in the industry.
It's sick, man. Yeah, getting to go from I mean just this club into a job and then maybe transform that into a passion of theirs. That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Um, I'm curious, like, what are some of your favorite resorts and for what reasons?
Yeah, so I haven't skied a ton of places. I've skied out west a few times. Um, not enough to really say, hey, I really like this resort or that resort. I mean, I've skied Copper, I think, once. I've skied Keystone a couple times, Snowmass a couple times. Probably the most, I do enjoy Holiday Valley, New York, because I did ski there as a kid. Our ski club used to take a yearly trip to Holiday Valley, and usually get back there every season or every other season. It's just for being like a 4-hour drive. It's a really nice big resort that's got some really challenging terrain. And then being in PSIA, we have frequent trips up to northern Michigan, so I've really kind of fallen in love with that area. There's just there's there's so many options with resorts. We skied quite a few times at Boyne Highlands, Nubs Knob, and I like it up there. It's kind of you're kind of you get far enough north, and the scenery starts to change. You get all the evergreen trees and the snowmobile trails, so it just is kind of more winter year round up there, I think, than we get down here. So I really like that area as well. And then my bucket list. Well, I shouldn't say bucket list, but my experience of a lifetime trip happened a couple years ago. We got to ski the Zermatt Glacier in Switzerland in May, and it was just for one day. It was part of a company trip, and I was able to extend it and do a little bit of skiing. But uh, that was just super cool because you're down in the village of Vermont or Zermatt, and it's May, and the flowers are out, and the grass is green, and you take 3 gondola rides, and then all of a sudden it's nothing but winter, and you're above the tree line, you're in the glacier, and just snow everywhere. And you can see, I mean, you're in the Alps, right? So you can see France, and you can see Italy, and yeah, that was pretty cool. I would definitely go back there.
Okay. That sounds amazing. I remember you talking about that. What was there like quite a few trails open when you were still there?
Yeah, I mean, terrain wise, it was cool because you get to the top and never been there, and it was I think it was pretty windy that day. It's blowing snow and maybe even some fog because you're near the Matterhorn and you get a lot of fog in that area. But you sort of walk out the catwalk from the gondola and you can't see a thing. In fact, my wife was ready to turn around and go back down because she saw a sign about you know a boundary sign or something, and she thought everything was going to be like backcountry extreme skiing, and I'm like, no, honey, it's not. So and that time of year there wasn't a lot of people, so it was pretty wide open, and you had I don't know, there was maybe 5 or 6 trails, a couple chairlifts, but it's so expansive that you're making a top to bottom run covering. When I think about 3,000 vertical from the very top to like the first chairlift station, you might see 2 people.
What? Two people?
So, oh yeah, it was. I mean, there may have only been 25 people on the entire mountain that day, and it was middle of May, so like they were kind of like it's in between seasons, summer and winter, and it was a good time to be there. But the snow was, I mean, it was fantastic.
Wow. Okay.
They were kind of making the transition from ski season into like hiking biking season in town. So
It, but the snow was just fine. Like it wasn't.
yeah, I mean, you get to the top and it's I don't know. I think it was in the teens, maybe 20 degrees at the top. The snow's real firm. Now throughout the day when you would get down to the chairlift station, it was more like 8 or 9,000 feet. Um, it would start to soften up, and it was like spring conditions. But yeah, I mean, the start of the day, it was like a day in the middle of winter. Everything, and they groom. It wasn't like all off piece or anything like that, which is really great for my wife. She's a solid intermediate skier, but she doesn't like to go super fast. Doesn't like choppy snow and all that. So we had a good time.
Did you
And
get to
somewhere,
teach?
funny story, somewhere along I must have dropped it out of something. I had my snow trail snowflake hat and didn't come back with it, so I'm convinced it's somewhere, maybe buried in the snow, or maybe it melted through up in Zermatt, Switzerland somewhere. So
Oh, that's kind of a cool story. You use the snow
yeah,
trails over in Switzerland. That's awesome. I mean,
yeah,
it sucks that you lost the hat, but at least it was in a
yeah. I bought another one.
cool place. Did you get to teach your wife how to ski, or did she already?
I actually did, yes. When we were young and dating, and took her out for the first time and taught her, and it worked out all right. Not what I usually recommend these days, but mean, she doesn't ski like I do, but she still enjoys getting out every now and then. I try to give her some pointers if she's willing to listen or if she's asking for them, but I don't, she's a different type of skier than me. She likes to go slower, take her time. That's fine. We meet up at the chairlift. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool that you get to do that. And I, I don't know. I'm glad that happened for you. That you were able to do that. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Um, I didn't ask this earlier, and I meant to. How long have you been instructing? And I guess skiing too.
Yeah. So skiing, I mean, let's just say, I don't know what exactly age I was, 12 ish. So let's say this will be coming up on 40 years of skiing. And this will be I always lose track, my 11th or 12th season as an instructor because I started when I was about 40 and I'll be 52 this year.
Okay, gotcha. And just to make sure I heard you right earlier, you did start instructing at snow trails, right?
I did, yes.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure I got that right. Cool, man. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think that's kind of all I've got. I don't know
Okay.
unless you've got some other cool stories that you want to share.
I probably do. Nothing's coming to mind at the moment, but yeah,
Okay.
another time maybe.
Yeah, for sure, man. I usually end these with like just a little advice. Like what would you say to people that are looking to get into it or instructing?
Um, yeah, just go for it. Like try it out. Whether it's the sport or whether it's teaching. I mean, I don't think instructing is for everybody for sure, but I would say if you're a skier and you have a passion for the sport, yeah, I mean, try teaching. It gives you a way to you know save some money on your ski season and get on snow quite a bit more, and you might find that you love teaching. And for me personally, I mean, my goals are to work for the Central Region Ed staff eventually, and kind of when I get a little closer to retirement slash semi-retirement, I'd like to spend more time teaching skiing in the winter, doing it full time, and maybe even travel and teach at some other resorts.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I know you'll do it. I know you will.
One step at a time.
That's right, man. All right, Ryan. I really appreciate you doing this and taking the time. Be safe driving to wherever you're headed, and have a good day, man.
Hey, you too. My pleasure. Take care.
Yeah.
See ya.
See you, man.